Welcome everyone to our YouTube channel. I am Educado by Sir Arnold Ryan U. Mercado. And this time, we're going to continue our discussions in Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics, Lesson 3. So let's start. So here's my social book. Let's log in to my account. That's our topic for today, socialization and enculturation. Alright. Now let us search the word society. So what does it mean? Now here's the question. How to become a member of society? Automatically ba pagkapanganak mo isa ka ng membro ng society? So let us see the answer. If yes or no, then why? Actually, take a look at the following pictures. Yung una ay isang building na merong mga tao sa paligid. Then the middle picture ay isang set ng mga tao, at ito namang nasa right side naman natin ay grassland. So, alin kaya dyan ang society? Society versus community. Society represents the idea of a modern urbanized capitalist and geographically and demographically complex society that characterizes the newly emerged nation states. Therefore, dapat urbanized, capitalist, or may namumuhunan, geographically and demographically complex society. Iyon ang society. While community is smaller in geographical and demographic scope, communal in social relations, and traditional in behavior and worldview. Isang example dyan ay ang agrarian society. So kung babalikan natin yung pictures kanina, alin dito ang society? Is it the left picture or the right picture? So the answer is yung nasa left side ng ating monitor. So, kasi yan po yung tinatawag nating society. Meron siyang urbanized, geographically, and demographical wise ang kanyang image. Now let's go to the next slide. Okay, this person is John Locke. According to John Locke, human mind at birth is nothing but a blank slate or tabula rasa. Ganyan daw ang utak natin nung bata tayo at pinanganak tayo. Wala talagang laman or blanco lang talaga ang ating minds. Now, ang tanong ko nga kanina, tayo ba ay automatically bahagi ng lipunan na ito? Now let's go with socialization. It's a lifelong process of social interaction through which people acquire their identities and necessary survival skills in society. Dito, isa tong habang buhay na paraan ng pakikisalamuha ng mga tao upang mas makilala niya ang kanyang sarili. At ito ay isang paraan para mag-survive siya sa kanyang skills sa isang lugar. So ito ay isang paraan upang malaman natin kung ano ba talaga ang ating role sa society ang kinabibilangan natin. And socialization dictates who we are. Another, it prepares new members of society and trains them to think, feel, act in appropriate ways. Therefore, yung tanong natin kanina na, siya ba ay member kaagad ng society? Oo naman. Yun nga lang, through socialization, piniprepare siya nito upang maging handa sa mga dapat niyang maranasan habang siya ay nabubuhay. Kasi nga, ang identity is a lifelong course. Central process of social life and is also a process member recruitment and replacement. Ang socialization, paraan yan para makapag-recruit ng mga bagong miyembro ng lipunan. At replacement din, just in case may aalis or may mawawala. Enables a person to gradually become a self-aware and knowledgeable human being and learn the ways, values, rules, and culture of the society. Now let's go with socialization and enculturation. Kanina nasabi ko na yung socialization. Yun nga po yung tinatawag nating paraan para ma-acquire mo lahat ng kailangan mo sa isang society. Therefore, that is what we call the actual process. Now, on the other hand, enculturation is the process by which Youngsters learn and adapt the way and manners of the culture. So ito naman, it refers to the culture. Paano ito napoproseso ng socialization at paano siya nagiging produkto ng process na yon. Example, ikaw ay nakikisalamuha araw-araw sa mga tao. Marami ka natututunan. Therefore, that's socialization. Yun yung proseso mo yung pakikisalamuha sa lahat. Pero yung produkto,
11:15
na magkakaroon ka ng mga kaibigan or may matutunan kang bago, that's enculturation. One more example. Sumama ka sa mga tropa mo na naninigarilyo or may bisyo. That's the socialization, yung pagsama-sama sa kanila. Now, the enculturation is you can adapt their culture, yung tradisyon nila na sila naninigarilyo. Therefore, malaki ang chance na ikaw din ay manigarilyo. That's enculturation. Yan, one example po is yung socialization and politics. What is their connections? Importante ang politics kasi dinidevelop niya ang citizen, acquire political ideas, values, attitudes, beliefs, and opinions through a political socialization. Malawak ang cover ng political socialization, lalo na kapag sa mga tao. Mabilis tayong maniwala, lalo na sa politika. Each nation has its own political norms that influence how people think and act about politics. The way political institutions function at this part reflects the public's attitudes, norms, and expectation. Kasi nga po sa isang political society, meron tayong political culture. Yan yung political culture, ito yung ugali natin towards politics. Kung paano natin siya itrato, yakapin, at sundin, or gawing prinsipyo. Another is political socialization. Ito naman yung kung paano nabubuo ang mga grupo ng mga tao na talagang may intention na pumasok sa world ng politics. Actually, ang politics ay isa sa mga major trends sa buong mundo. And in political socialization, it's a process of shaping one's ideas and attitudes about your government. So, halimbawa, example ng bata, ikaw ay, ang tingin mo, lahat ng mga needs natin ay napoprovide ni government, etc. Pero habang tumatagal at sumasama ka sa iba't ibang mga tao, there's a great chance na ikaw ay magbago ng pagtingin sa government. Kasi nga, may mga bagong influences. Like for example, madami tayong factors. First is yung family mo. So yung family, kung kadalasan, kung ano yung gusto ng pamilya, nasusunod dyan kung sino yung susuportahan ninyo. So that's one factor. So yung school, so may mga teachers tayo that they are pro and anti sa isang administration, pero sinishare lang naman nila ito. It's up to you kung paano mo ito i-absorb at ipaprocess. Another is yung peers. Yan nga, yung mga barkada na yan. Merong good, merong bad. Then also, yung pinakamalawak talagang influence sa atin is yung media. Kasi as of now, it's not only covering the television, but also the internet. Education and religion, connected sila. Kasi sila ay mga significant tools para ma-inculturate ka or ma-absorb mo ang culture ng isang society or lugar. Schools, ang laking influensya niyan, lalo na ang religion. Sa internalization process, ito ay isang paraan para ma-accept ang social norms ng isang society, pati yung kanyang attitude, yung role niya at values transmitted by the people and social groups within society as one's own. Ito rin ay isang bahagi ng socialization na kung saan yung ibang members ay nagiging bahagi din. Ito yung example ng internalization. When you sit down, you automatically pick up your fork to eat. Diba? Pagkakain ka sa mesa, uupo ka, automatic. Ano gagawin mo? Di dalamputin mo yung tinidor at kutsara magkakain ka. Tama? That's internalization. When the traffic signal turns red, you stop without thinking about it. Pag nakita mo nag-red, alam mo na, you will stop your car. Then you do not do these things because you think you will punish. But, you do this because It is the internalized society norms. Bahagi na siya na nakasanayan ng ating lipunan. Kaya hindi mo to po pwedeng talikuran basta-basta lamang. Hindi dahil may batas o kung ano pa man. Social context refers to particular circumstances of a society and consists of its culture, language, and the social structures that define social class, ethnicity, and gender. So, ito yung tumutukoy sa kung anong klase tayo sa ating society. Information relevant to the characterization of a situation that influences the interaction of one user with one or more other users. Example, it is a norm to consider a cellphone ringing in chatter as rude. Oo nga naman, yun yung sinasabi nating bahagi ng culture natin na dapat i-turn off mo yan or i-silent mode mo yan kapag nanonood ka ng movie sa isang theater kasi nga, you can disturb the other watchers. So, yung content naman refers to the ideas, beliefs, behavior, and other information that are passed on by the members of society to the individuals. Ito yung mga pamanang kultura, paniniwala, tradisyon, especially dito sa Pilipinas, marami tayo niyan. Until now, we are following the pagmamano, pagsabi ng po at opo. Another is yung process, methods of interaction that enable the content to be given to the person undergoing socialization. Ito yung pagproseso mo, kung paano mo gagamitin ang content na tutunan mo. Then the result, of course, this is the outcome or the output of socialization. Evident yan kapag ang isang individual ay nagpa-practice na ng kanyang mga natutunan at ito ay effective sa ibang membro ng lipunan. Enculturation, again, I'll repeat, is the process by which a person learns the requirements of the culture by which he or she is surrounded and acquires values and behaviors that are appropriate or necessary in that culture. If successful, enculturation results in competence in the language, values, and rituals of the culture. Usually kasi pag napunta tayo sa ibang lugar, ang kadalasan ginagawa natin, we give respect. So, sumusunod tayo sa practices nila. We are doing those things kasi yun nga yung pagbibigay natin ng respeto. And kapag tumagal na natutunan natin yun, ina-apply na rin natin, that is enculturation. Enculturation is a process by which a person adopts the behavior patterns of the culture he lives in. An overview of the enculturation process. Take a look at the following. Yung kultura ng mga magulang mo, nung baby ka pa o nung infant ka pa, yan ay naituro sa'yo ng parents mo. Ang tawag doon ay parenting styles. Meron din naman tayong sa genes pa lang, galing sa mga magulang na napunta sa infant, then when you became a mother, you will absorb the culture, temperament, and attachment yun. Parents and children interactive partners in joint creation of cultural meaning. So, kung ano man ang kultura na bubuo sa isang tahanan, yun ay produkto ng mga magulang at ng mga anak. That's the result. On the other hand, acculturation refers to the process by which individuals or groups learn aspects of a culture that is not their own. So, nandun ka sa lugar mo, pero pinag-aaralan mo yung kultura ng ibang tao. Isang example niyan, tayo mga Pilipino, we are watching Korean dramas. There's addiction sa Korean drama. Some of us are doing their passion. Ina-apply yung passion nila, pati buhok, damit, language. So, yun ay isang halimbawa ng acculturation. One example, my native tongue is Spanish but I speak English in school. Yan ay isang halimbawa ng acculturation. Kasi nga, Spaniard talaga siya. Yun nga lang, dahil nandun siya sa school niya, kailangan niyang pag-aralan yung kanyang kulturang ginagalawan. And that is English. And that is acculturation. Agents of socialization and enculturation, marami yan that can affect your own lives. Family, yan, primary agent yan ng socialization that upon your birth, throughout infancy, and up to childhood. Yan. Another is in schools, They have a critical and active role in socialization through academic and social activities. Siyempre, halos buong buhay natin ay nagko-consume talaga sa school. It can be public, private, or technical, vocational, and alternative schools. Peer groups reinforce acceptable behaviors introduced by the family and school, allow a certain degree of independence from family and authority. So, dumadagdag sila sa mga bagong kaalaman mo bilang isang tao. Involvement in social and political issues ang kanilang kadalasang scope. Peer groups form informal, spontaneous, and voluntary means. Ayan. So, meron tayong peer pressure na tinatawag na kung saan nararamdaman mo to kapag may isang grupo ng mga tao na medyo you want to be part of them. So, yung pressure na yun, it's either you neglect them or accept them. Ayan, isang example siya ng peer pressure. Yun yung sa taas, peer group naman. Mass media includes form of communication. Ayan, sinasabi ko kanina, malaki ang role nito sa atin. Books, magazines, newspaper, print materials, radio, TV, and movies and internet are all part of mass media. Functions niya, source of information, of course. Another, presents various viewpoints and provides entertainment. Lahat yan, kapag na-absorb natin, na-inculturate natin, or na-acculturate natin, that brings who we are. It's up to us kung accept or neglect or practice it. Yan, example ng mga mass media, di ba? So, yung mga palabas sa TV, mga historical events, political issues, source of information, lahat yan ay part ng mass media. We have the following models of mass media. Pluralist model, na ideological marketplace that enhances debate and electoral choice. So, that's the basic meaning of it. Another is yung market model, reflects the views of the general public and presents people wants. So, kung anong gusto ng mga madlang people, yun ang binavalue at minamarket naman ng isang mass media. We also have dominant ideology model, traces bias to link between media and the political and social elite. So, dito, pabor na pabor ito sa mga mayayaman, may kaya, mga taong nasa politika. We also have the elite values model, recognizes media bias. Ayan, basic. Journalists, broadcasters, etc. Religion and state is the ultimate source of authority. Religion exerts a great influence on the views of a person, legitimizes accepted social practices, provides stability to society, source of social change. So, malaki talaga ang role ni religion din kasi kung ano yung sinusundan natin ng mga aral, pinapractice na natin siya ng bata pa. Nga na may iba't iba tayong viewpoints yan. State participates in socialization through laws and regulation. Ayan, symbols ng religion yan. Major social and historical events, isang halimbawa din People Power 1, na kung saan na-involve ang religion at ang state or politics into one para mag-lead sa changes. Yun nga lang, according to Philippine Constitution of 1987, Article 2, Section 6, kailangan separate ang interest ng state at ng religion. Ayan. So, lahat, in summary, yan po yung ating agents of socialization: family, peers, religions, government, media, work, ethnic background, clubs, social groups, and the school. Conformity refers to the process of altering one's thought and actions to adapt to accepted behavior within society. Ito yung pagkukupli natin. Ito yung tipo na gusto nating sumabay pero hindi natin kaya totally. So, scapegoat natin yung conformity. We're trying to accept it dahan-dahan lamang. Compliance is an outward conformity to social pressure but private disagreeing with it. Nagko-comply tayo pero hindi ibig sabihin tanggap natin yung kultura na yun. We're doing it because it's part of the society. That's type of conformity. That's compliance. Another type is yung identification. Refers to the individual adopting a certain behavior. It enables him or her to have satisfying relationship with the members of his group. Ito yung pag-absorb natin or pag-adapt natin sa behavior ng karamihan and we're being part of it. Another is yung internalization or acceptance involves both public and international compliance of the norms and standards imposed by the group. Ito naman, halos parehas lang. Yun nga lang, pati yung international compliance ina-absorb na dito sa part ng internalization. A behavior that elicits a strong negative reaction from group members and involves actions that violate commonly held social norms is what we call deviance. Ito yung pagtanggi talaga, pag-neglect. And we have types of deviance. Meron tayong overconformity or passive deviance. Involves behavior that overconforms to social expectations, leads to imbalance and perfectionism, can be as harmful as negative deviance. Ito kasi sa passive deviance, ang tingin natin sa sarili natin perfect. Example niyan yung anorexia, bodybuilder, perfect students. Laging ina-expect sa'yo, perfect lagi, 100%, perfect attendance, mataas ang tingin sa'yo ng society. Meron tayong tinatawag na underconformity naman or negative deviance. It involves behavior that underconforms to social expectations like rejection, misinterpretation, or unaware of the norms. Example, obesity. Or pag sinabing unmotivated students, ang tingin sa'yo, lack of participation, sleeping in the class, making absences, always failing to the test papers and test. So, yun yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. Yung overconformity at underconformity. Ito yung mga halimbawa ng mga nagpapakita ng deviance. So, deviance is any behavior or belief or condition that violates significant social norms in the society or group in which it occurs. Sa example, pag nakakita tayo ng mga nakatattoo na tao, ang tingin natin madumi. Diba? Parang, ew, masama silang tingnan. Or criminal agad ang tingin natin. Ayan, kagaya ng picture ni LeBron James na siya ay may ginagawa. So, therefore, tingin natin, ay, bastos naman ito. Pero sa kanilang culture, okay yun. Pero sa Asian culture, hindi siya okay. Kasi we're practicing conservatism. So, what is deviance pa rin? Again, meron nga tayong passive deviance. Ayan. At meron tayong negative deviance. Kasi pag passive deviance, overconformity to norms, talagang komportable ka sa nangyayari sa society, absorb mo lahat. And tingin mo, mataas ang tingin mo sa sarili mo. Special ka, marami kang kayang gawin. Pero pag negative deviance, tingin mo hindi kayo na-accept. Then, sometimes you hurt people. And it could be against the law. So, sino mga deviants? Sila yung mga taong nagpa-practice ng deviance. Any person who violates any social norm to society. Mga reaction nila, negative response lagi. Attempts to control behavior. Attempts to change their behavior. Social control. Siyempre, pinag-uusapan na natin deviance. Systematic means and practices used to maintain norms, rules, and laws, regulate conflict, and discourage deviant behavior. Ito naman yung paraan para makontrol yung deviance. Most common means of social control is yung sanction. Ini-implement yan para ma-address yung mga mali and violations sa isang social norm. Meron tayong two types ng sanction, formal and informal. Pag sinabing formal, provided by the law, may batas, mayroon tayong basis and regulated by the law. Pag informal naman, ito ay not commonly imposed by smaller societies, groups, and communities. Doon lang sa selected place lang. Most important part of the society is in human dignity and human rights. Siyempre, human dignity, idea that a person has the innate right to be valued, respected, and treated well. Yan naman lagi sinasabi natin, di ba? Hindi tayo dapat nababastos, nire-respeto. Yan yung parang original na karapatan talaga natin, yung human dignity. Human rights, syempre, ito yung mga legal, social, and ethical principles that consider human person as deserving of all liberties and protection by virtue of human dignity. Nga lang, again, human rights, meron tayong limitations. And the characteristics of human right, universal, fundamental, indivisible, and absolute. Now let me leave you a quote of the day coming from Pope Francis. Human dignity is the same for all human beings. When I trample on the dignity of another, I am trampling on my own. If you want to have a copy of our PowerPoint, just send an email to my email account. You can also subscribe to my Facebook page and like my videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I am Educado by Sir Arnold Ryan Mercado.